Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start off with the clearance lights, which are up here. Make sure that they're properly mounted, that they're not cracked, missing, or broken. They should all be in amber color, and they should all function correctly. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our two windshields. Make sure that the windshield is properly mounted, that it's not cracked, that it doesn't have any stickers, or that it doesn't have any obstruction, and it has to be clean. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our wipers, which are located right here. We have a driver's side and the passenger side. Make sure both wiper arms are function correctly, that they're not cracked, that they're not bent, they're not broken. From there, we're going to go ahead and check the wiper blades on there, on both of them as well. We're going to make sure that the wiper blades are not dry rot or cracked or missing. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our blind spot mirror. Make sure the blind spot mirror is properly mounted, that it's not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure that the convex mirror is clean, that it's not cracked, missing, or broken as well. The convex mirror is used to see wide angles. From there, guys, we're going to go ahead and move right here. We got our headlights. Make sure we have the driver's side and we have the passenger side. Make sure that they both function correctly. They both have high beam and low beam, and they can't be cracked, missing, or broken. From there, we have two turn signals. We have over here the driver's side, and then we have the passenger side. Make sure that they're not cracked, missing, or broken. They both have to be amber color, and they have to function correctly. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our license plate. Make sure our license plate is properly mounted, that it's not dangling because it's missing a bolt, and make sure it's legible, that it's clean. From there, we're going to go ahead and look underneath the vehicle. Make sure we look for any spots, any drips that would indicate that there's a major leak under the vehicle if it's greater than the size of your hand. Okay guys, we're going to go into the engine compartment. Remember, we're breaking this down into three parts. First, we're going to start in the engine compartment. Then we'll go into the steering column. And then we'll go into from the frame, which is the suspension system, all the way down to our wheel well. We're going to go ahead and start off with our radiator. Radiator has to be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken, and no leaks because it has radiator fluid inside. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our fan guard, properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken, no missing bolts. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our fan. Make sure the fan is properly mounted. Make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken on the blades. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our fan belt, which is located right here. The fan belt cannot be cracked, cannot be frayed, and no visual damage, and it can't have no more than 3/4 of an inch in play. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our engine oil fill. This is the cap. Make sure that the cap's properly mounted, that it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and that it's properly tightened on there. From there, this is our radiator stabilizer arm. Make sure that the radiator stabilizer arm is properly mounted from both ends. Make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken. From there, we're going to go ahead and move right here to our air compressor. The air compressor is located right here, guys. The air compressor should be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. Shouldn't have any leaks, and no missing parts or bolts on the air compressor, guys. From there, the air compressor has air hoses. These are these right here. Make sure the air hoses are properly mounted. Make sure that they're not dry rot. Make sure that they're not cracked, and make sure there's no leaks on the hoses. From there, we're going to go ahead and move right down this way. This right here is our air governor. The air governor is located right there. Make sure that the air governor is properly mounted, that it's not cracked, that it's not bent or broken, and make sure the air governor kicks in at 100 psi and it turns off between 100 and 120 psi, guys. From there, we're going to go ahead and move down this way. That's our power steering pump. Make sure our power steering pump is properly mounted. Make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure that it's doesn't have any leaks and it's not missing any bolts. From there, we have a high pressure hose, which is this one right here. We have a high pressure hose and we have a low pressure hose. The way you can tell the difference is the high pressure hose has a coupling on the ends and the low pressure hose has clamps on the ends. So that's how you tell the difference between a high pressure and a low pressure hose. Make sure that the hoses are not cut, that they're not dry rot, that they don't have any leaks, and no visual damage on the hoses. From there, guys, we're going to go ahead and move to our engine oil dipstick, which is this one right here. Make sure it's properly mounted, that it's not cracked, bent, or broken, or missing. and make sure that the cap's properly tightened on there, guys. From there, we're gonna go ahead and look back. This is our primary fuel filter right here, and then we have a secondary fuel filter which is located right behind the engine oil fill dipstick. Make sure both fuel filters are properly mounted and secure. Make sure that they're not cracked or bent or broken or no leaks on them, and make sure that they're both properly tightened on there. From there, guys, we're gonna go ahead and move down this way. This right here is where my fingernail is where my starter is located. Make sure that the starter is properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. No missing parts and bolts. And make sure you check the electrical wiring. Make sure that they're properly mounted, that they're not cracked, bent, or broken, and that they're properly tightened on there. Shouldn't be any visual damage on the electrical wiring. Okay, that concludes section 1. We'll continue with section 2. Okay, guys, we're going to be going into section 2. Section 2, this is the steering column right here. This pertains to all the steering. So this is the steering column. Make sure it's properly mounted and secured, not cracked, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. It has a little grease valve right there. That grease valve has to be properly mounted, not cracked, not missing, and not broken, and it has to be properly greased. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to the U-bolts, which are U-joints, I'm sorry. The U-joints are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. They have to be properly greased. Again, there's another grease valve right there. Should be properly greased. From there, guys, we're going to go ahead and move to the gearbox. Make sure the gearbox is properly mounted and secured, not cracked, not bent, not broken, and no leaks on the gearbox, guys. From there, we're going to go ahead and move to our pitman arm. The pitman arm shouldn't be cracked, bent, or broken, and it should be properly mounted and secured. From there, we're going to go to the pitman arm. It has a castle nut. You see how it looks like a little castle? This is the castle nut, and this little metal right here is the cotter pin. Make sure that they're properly mounted and secure, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. From there, that connects to the drag link. The drag link is right here. Make sure it's properly mounted and secure, not cracked, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. From there, we have another castle nut with another cotter pin that connects to the steering knuckle. Make sure that they're properly mounted and secure, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. From there, we have a steering rod, which is this one right here. Make sure it's properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken. We have another castle nut with another cotter pin that connects to the tie rod. The tie rod should be properly mounted and secure, not cracked, not bent, not broken. This is what turns the passenger side wheel as well as the driver's side wheel the same way. So the tie rod has two castle nuts and cotter pins on both ends. Well, one castle nut and one cotter pin on both ends. And that concludes section 2, guys. Okay, guys, we're going to be going into the frame. Everything from the frame in between to the top of this tire is the same way. I'm going to go ahead and inspect the passenger side of the truck because everything has the exact same thing. We have the frame. Make sure the frame's not cracked, bent, or broken, and it doesn't have any holes drilled into it or any illegal welds. From there, we're going to go ahead and go down this way. This is our lift spring mount. Make sure that it's properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. No missing bolts. From there, we have the lift springs, guys. The lift springs have to be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken, and not missing. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to the U-bolts. The U-bolts are this one and this one. We have 2 on this side and 2 on the passenger side. Make sure they're not cracked, bent, or broken, not missing any bolts. From there, we have the shock absorber, which is this one right here, guys. Make sure it's properly mounted from the top and the bottom, and make sure it's not leaking any hydraulic fluid. From there, guys, we're going to go ahead and go. This right here that runs across is our steering axle. Make sure it's properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds on it. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to our air hose. This air hose right here goes to our brake chamber. Make sure that the hose, this is a high pressure hose, we can tell because of the fitting right here. It goes into our brake chamber. The hose cannot be dry rot, no cracks, no leaks, and not frayed. From there, we're going to go into the brake chamber. Make sure the brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. Make sure it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and make sure there's no illegal there's no leaks on it. I'm sorry. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to the push rod. The push rod is located in there, guys. Not this bowl right here. It's at the tip of my finger. Right there, that push rod cannot have no more than 1 inch of play when the brakes are released. It cannot be cracked, bent, or broken. From there, we have a U-joint, which is located right here. The U-joint has to be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken. Then we have the slack adjuster. The slack adjuster is located right here. properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken. And I think it has a grease valve right down here, so make sure the grease valve is properly greased, not cracked, not missing, not broken. Then we have the S-cam, which is located right here, guys. It goes through the slack adjuster into the braking system. The slack has to be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, and not broken. From there, that comes in contact with our brake pads, which are located right here. Brake pads have to be properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken, not missing, and not less than 1/4 of an inch in thickness. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to our brake drum, which is this one right here. Make sure the brake drum is properly mounted, not cracked, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds, and it can't be less than an inch in thickness. That concludes section 3, guys, on the engine compartment.